Alrighty. Think we are good. I think we are live, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are. Cool. Just make sure that's it. All right. So let's do this. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday. My name is Coach E Pierre. I am your empowerment and discipline and confidence coach, dedicated to focusing on finding the better version of self and removing the excuses that we provide ourselves. Today's topic, I think I've touched this topic before on different platforms, but we're gonna do it again today, right? So the topic itself is the mask and the revelations of the mirror. Now, if anybody knows me, I speak highly on the mirror all the time because that is the portion of yourself that tells you the truth, right? That's the portion of yourself that doesn't lie to you. And we have a tendency to run away from the mirror, right? Within our lived experience, we've probably ran away from the mirror more times than we want to. As much as we don't want to admit it, that's one of the things that's real, right? So for me, I know for a fact I've definitely had my uncomfortable conversations with the mirror where I felt like I needed to run away. You know what I'm saying? We've all had that moment. Um, Nobody is excluded from that because we're human. And unfortunately, sometimes seeing the truth and reliving the truth and facing the truth is a very uncomfortable thing. But in order to grow, we have to be uncomfortable. Now, when I talk about the mask, right, it is the form of ourselves that we use to perform, right? The form of ourselves that probably get all the validation, the form of ourselves that get all the love, that get all the support, that get all the goodies, right? They get all the things that we look for in a person, to say the least, right? So when we use that mask, we're getting everything that you know the real version of ourselves should be receiving, but because we don't know how to operate within our authentic self, we don't get those praises, we don't get that support, we don't get that love that you want the authentic version of ourselves to get. So the mask gets it. The mask receives all of the goodies, all the good things, all the support, all the love, all the praise, all the good jobs, all the I'm proud of yous. The mask gets it all, right? And even in a toxic sense, the mask gets all the views on social media. They get all the likes. They're making all the social media money. That they're doing all these things, right? They're doing all of the mask is getting all of this stuff, right? But where does the mask stem from, right? When you think about your mask, when you think about all of the things that the mask has rewarded you with, right? Quote unquote, rewarded you with, right? Where does that stem from? You know what I'm saying? Where does that come from? And being the fact that everything is very close knit and tied to your inner child, right? We can't ignore that. The inner child is pretty much the forefront of all of this. As much as we don't want to admit it, right? It's literally the forefront of all of this. Everything that you've experienced as a child created that mask, right? Probably wasn't seen as a child, probably wasn't appreciated as a child, probably wasn't loved correctly as a child, right? You had to perform in order to be seen, in order to be spoken to, in order to be appreciated. You had to perform just for them to see you, right? That mask is powerful when it's used when it's used correctly, right? But when it's used incorrectly, it can cause some things, right? And when you use it correctly, you're pretty much getting all the things that you want, right? Even though it's damaging you on the inside, you're getting everything that you want, right? You're getting all the love, you're getting everything, you're getting paid, you're getting all these good things. You know what I'm saying? That the authentic version should be able to get without any effort, right? But you spend more time and more effort and more energy leaving that mask on and trying to create a persona that isn't real. You create a persona on social media, you create a persona in real life. The person that you operate as when everybody sees you. Not when you see yourself, but when everybody sees you, is not real. It's fake. You're a fraud, right? But those things stem from something. It stems from the things that you'd experienced as a child, and only you know what that is, on why you decided to create the mask, right? Everybody's story is different. My story was everybody correlating my character and personalities to a family member, right? I spent so much time with this family member that they wanted me to be, that they thought I was going to be like them, right? Because I spent so much time with them because we had such a close relationship. And then when I decided to remove myself and build my own everything, my own character, personality, when I started to recognize who I was and started to be a part of my becoming, right? Because I always knew who I was, but I just had to embrace it, right? But we do have lived experiences where we inherit other things that's taught to us, right? That can, quote unquote, I want to say it's not even quote unquote. It's something that can literally reshape your character and personality to where it's not realistic, to where it's not authentic, right? And that happened. That happened. And I had to sit back and figure it out and analyze it and see what I can do to change that, because I didn't know that I was struggling with this. This was a real thing, guys. Like this was, I'm just like, like what? Like I don't know who I am. Like I don't know what I'm struggling with. Yeah, I was struggling. It was a real thing. It was a real thing, and I had to sit back with myself and figure that shit out, because ain't no way I'm walking around on this earth and I don't know who I am. And I also have children in the world that I have to protect. Do you know what I'm saying? I got to protect them in this world. And how can I protect them if I don't know who I am? Let that sink in. I don't know who I am, but I got to protect them. I got to make sure that I'm giving them all the good energy. I got to give them all the good knowledge. I got to give them all the support that they need in order to be able to operate in this world. But I don't even know who I am authentically, and I'm struggling with my own identity. But I'm supposed to be able to teach them to be better. I'm supposed to be able to teach them to be better, but I don't know who I am, right? And we do our best. We do what we can, right, to make sure that we don't push our own pain and our own trauma on our children. But unfortunately, a lot of our lived experience is nothing but trauma, especially if you haven't worked on it, right? A lot of your behaviors, a lot of your mannerisms is literally tied to your trauma and tied to your triggers and tied to the things that you're struggling with. You know what I'm saying? And even in the womb, and I always refer back to this because it's such an important point. You know what I'm saying? We tend to pass down the things that we struggle with, or the experiences of our lives, to our children, right? And it's not intentional. So you don't beat yourself up, but it's not intentional. It's just a part of the game, and it happens without recognizing it. Um and if you've recognized it and you avoided just the dynamic of bringing anything chaotic around your child while you're pregnant, A1. Proud of you, because that's huge. So when we look at the mask, right? Let's think about the concept of why we wear it, right? I know I gave you guys a little bit of just my freestyle, but I do have some notes. Um, the mask forms because we learned early on that being ourselves wasn't accepted, right? I.e., performing, i.e., understanding that you're not going to get the looks that you want, you're not going to get the support that you want. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you do or what you do, people don't see you, right? They don't see you. They don't recognize you. They don't recognize the person that you are, the good things that come with you, the things that they can appreciate towards the person that you are. They don't get any of these. They don't understand all of this stuff, right? So when you ask that, so when you think about what's going on, Lala, when you think about the mask, right? You have to ask yourself, why did you learn? What did you who did you first learn you had to perform for? Right? When we wear the mask, the performance comes from somewhere. It started somewhere. It stems from somewhere. It has an origin. So who was the first person that you learned that you had to perform for? Was it mom? Was it dad? Right? Was it your teachers? Was it your siblings? You know what I'm saying? Who was it that you were performing for when you started wearing this mask? Or before the mask became a thing, right? You got to ask yourself that question, because that's such an important part. That's gonna pretty much open up the door. Childhood and parents. Yeah, I mean, that's really where it stems from most times, right, Lala? Like, it does stem from that. It really does. It stems from that. And a lot of people don't realize it. But that's why I sound like a damn soundboard in a repeated soundboard, because unfortunately those are the things that it stems from. It stems from the childhood. It stems from the things that you didn't experience as a child, the things that was missed, right? Those are the things that causes these frictions in your life. Those are the things that cause the struggles in your life, you know? A lot of people don't want to admit that, right? We want to give our parents so much praise, but our parents only knew what they knew. But it was also still their responsibility to make sure that we were taken care of, because they brought us into this world. No matter what their reason was, we're here, and they brought us here. We didn't ask to be here, right? And for us that have children, we brought them here with our selfish behaviors and our selfish mannerisms. So we are responsible for making sure these kids are straight. You know what I'm saying? But in order for these kids to be straight, you have to be straight yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to be good yourself. You have to recognize that there's certain things about you that you need to work on. Hey, welcome in. There's certain things about you that you need to work on. I'm just saying, like, we can't ignore that. We have trauma. All of us. We have trauma. A lot of our trauma is not generated by us starting, right? In the beginning. It's not us. It's not our trauma. It's our parents' trauma. Because our parents didn't they didn't believe therapy. They didn't believe about none of this stuff, right? They didn't care about these things. They didn't care about finding a coach or having getting the tools to need to operate as their authentic self. Like, they didn't know about all this stuff, right? All this stuff is fairly new, by the way. So if they didn't have that, which is, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, it's our responsibility now to break that mold, that generational curse, right? Because they didn't know any better. They did what they could. You know what I'm saying? They did what they could. They did the best that they could with what they had. But now it's our responsibility to make the change, right? How do we operate on an everyday basis for our children and ourselves when we don't even know who we are? Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. We don't even know who we are, but we expect our children, and you expect yourself and you expect your children to be able to operate effectively. When you know better, you do better. Yeah, no, absolutely. But you gotta want to know better. Let's take it there. You gotta want to know better to do better. I love that. I love that. That's a beautiful thing, bestie. That's a beautiful thing. When your parents, right, are willing to actually go through the steps and go through the journey to figure certain things out so that way they can be better, it builds a better relationship with you and them. And then it builds a better relationship with them and and their grandkids, right? Which overall breaks the chain. It breaks that chain, it breaks that mold, and that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? That is a beautiful thing. And you have to embrace all of it, right? The journey is not easy. To remove that mask is not easy, especially when you lived with that mask for pretty much your whole life, right? You lived with the mask the whole life. So that's a normal thing for you. You know what I'm saying? My mom, yes, my mom, my bestie, my girls. Yeah, listen, all of it. All of it. Like if you can get listen, we should all be doing this together. Yeah, I'm streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So I'm on three different platforms right now. So we should embrace all of it, right? The thing about the beautiful thing about working on yourself is the people that genuinely care about you and rock with you, when they see you doing better and they see you actually putting the effort, they're gonna want to do it too. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna want to do it too. So that's why I say be the anchor to positivity if you have to, right? Don't let anything else diminish what you're trying to do in regards to removing that mask or trying to be better, because the people that are with you will want to do it too if they see that it's benefiting you, right? You said it to me, bestie, during in the text. Things don't even bother you anymore because it doesn't. And things don't bother me anymore. That mask, I done threw that mask away a long time ago. I threw that mask a long time. I threw that shit away a long time ago. I don't even know where it is at this point. That shit could be somewhere in Providence dumps, somewhere in the Providence area. Like I don't know where that shit is. You know what I'm saying? Like once you embrace that, all of it, like man, it's a beautiful thing. Like you gotta know that it's there. You gotta know that I was gonna say it sure wasn't easy. There was a few triggers, and I mean you're gonna get those, right? But the thing about the triggers is it doesn't go away, right? Remove the thought process that your traumas and triggers is going to go away once you're on your healing journey, because it doesn't, right? If you remove that ideology that you're healing, that your triggers and things go away, like if you remove that, then you'll be fine in your journey. You can actually continue to progress and become better, because people go on their healing journey wanting to remove their traumas and triggers. You can't remove them. You can minimize them, you can mute them down, right? You can gain the tools so that way you know how to operate within them, but you'll never get rid of them. If you remove that ideology, then you're already on the right path. Things might bother me for a moment, but then I snap back into reality. Yeah, no, absolutely, Lala. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So remove that ideology of, oh, I'm trying to get rid of my triggers and you're not going to get rid of them. First of all, your triggers and traumas are your lived experience. It's always going to be a part of you. Sometimes, if you think, if let's think, let's do this in real time, right? So that way I can show you guys how it works. When it comes to your triggers, right? Triggers are good things. They're good. They're not bad, right? Remove the thought process that your triggers are bad. Let's do that first, right? Your triggers is pretty much an indication to you that there's something that needs to be worked on. Think about it. I'm just saying. When you get triggered by something, depending on how it affects you, right? How it affects you will tell you that you might need to take a step back and look at it. Analyze it a little bit, right? Because it affected you way more than it was supposed to, but you claim that you did the work. Think about that. If you actually did the work and gathered the tools that you needed, right, then there's no way that it should have affected you when the trigger originally happened before you started working on yourself. It depends. Biggie. It depends, right? So it truly depends on if it was a person that did that, right? If it's a person that did that and violated your boundaries, then that's different, right? So we got to remember words mean things. So boundaries and triggers are two different things, right? Boundaries are the rules and regulations that you made for yourself that you're going to stand firm on, right? In regards to everybody, right? No rules, no exceptions to who the person is. Your boundaries are for you. You vocalize your boundaries to the people, right? You know what I'm saying? You vocalize the boundaries. And then if they step over your boundaries, then that's a problem. You need to you can either do one or two things in regards to that. You can either vocalize the fact that they stepped over your boundaries, right? And give them the opportunity to fix that, or you could just move out the way, right? Because obviously, if you're standing firm on your boundaries, then you ain't got to explain that to nobody once you explain it that first time. You know what I'm saying? Now, the trigger itself is from a lived experience, right? Your trigger is from exactly. So your triggers is from a lived experience. So, but the trigger itself is from a lived experience, right? That's the one thing that we got to make sure that we put out there. The triggers in your traumas are from lived experience, right? It's not from what somebody did to you currently. Because that's why I say the traumas and the triggers will never go away. That's why I make sure I keep that little tidbit in there, because the traumas and triggers will never go away. But it's very possible that somebody can initiate that trigger unknowingly, or knowingly, right? We're not gonna put something definitive on there, because definitive, it means it's like set in stone, right? You know what I'm saying? You have a good one. Have a good one, Lala. But it can happen knowingly and unknowingly, right? Now, depending on your relationship or friendship with this person, obviously you guys already spoken about your triggers. You've had that uncomfortable conversation with them with the things that you're working on and the things that you're struggling with, right? You've had that conversation. So they're aware of these things. Now, if they do it intentionally, then you have a problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they do that intentionally, then you have yourself a problem. You need to remove yourself from that individual altogether, because if they're already aware of everything that you're struggling with and the things that you're working on and the things that you're trying to be better in regards to these things, and you need to remove yourself completely. There's nothing else to talk about at all. There's nothing else to talk about. So but kind of revert back to the mask, right? Because that was just the first portion of it, right? But kind of to revert back to the mask and the conversation of the mask on why. What if they claim it's not intentional? I mean, your intuition will tell you if it was or not. Energy speaks. Energy speaks, right? Energy and intent. Energy and your intuition will never lie to you, right? When they do it, pay attention to their behavior, pay attention to their body language, right? Pay attention to the energy behind it. Pay attention to the intentions behind it, right? You yourself, if you've done the work, you'll be able to recognize if it was intentional or not. You should be able to if you actually did the work. But that's the portion of it that's gonna let you know that you actually did the work or not. I'm just saying. So why do we wear the mask, people? Why do we wear the mask? Why is the mask so important in your everyday and your current, right? Why is the mask so important? The mask is important because it protects us from judgment, rejection, and vulnerability, right? It removes the aspect of being accountable for your shit. right? It removes the aspect of having to deal with constructive criticism, right? It removes the aspect of being hurt by people that are not accepting of you, of the things that you claim are authentic to you. But are they really authentic? You got to ask yourself that question. Are they really authentic, right? The way that you operate, the way that you maneuver, right? Is that something, is that an authentic way that you're operating, or is that a part of the mask? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself that question, because we all know that we can't run from judgment. Judgment is a part of the everyday life. You're gonna get judged no matter what, right? You can't avoid it. You can't ignore it. It's a part of your everyday, right? So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. So you have to be able to recognize that there's certain things in life that are always going to be. Judgment is one of them. Rejection is another, right? Being vulnerable is so important that it's literally a part, that it's literally a stepping stone in your healing journey. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a part of it, right? You can't ignore it. You know, like you have to be able to be vulnerable with yourself. Forget everybody else, right? So, just to give a little caveat for the people that are going to be watching the replay of this, right? I'm never focused on the person that hurt you. I'm never focused on the person that caused the pain. I'm never focused on the person that you're wanting to blame. We don't focus on the person. There's a reason why my name says King of Self Love, because I don't focus on the people that do the damage. We focus on fixing you and growing you and working on you, right? So when having this conversation, do not put yourself in the aspect of wanting to blame the person or trying to find a person to blame. Focus on what you can focus on, cater to yourself and only to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind when we're having this conversation, okay? We're not here to worry about the other person. We're trying to figure out why the hell you're wearing this mask and so afraid to be the version of you that you're supposed to be. That's what we're trying to figure out. Like, why are you struggling with that? Why are you struggling to actually see yourself, right? Why is that when it's time to look in the mirror, you can't look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself? If you should be able, hey Kayla, you should be able to have a conversation. If anybody you should have a conversation with is to be able to have a conversation with yourself. Okay? There's nothing wrong with having a conversation with yourself. Nothing. It's not crazy. You're not weird. Nothing. You should be able to have a conversation with yourself. Because the one thing about having conversations with yourself is you know the answer that you're looking, you have the answer that you're looking for. It's within you. But because validation is such a big thing for people, that they will look for external sources to get validation from in regards to this. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Social media is the living proof that people look for validation. I'm just saying. If you don't believe me, go scroll up your Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and tell me that you don't see people looking for validation 24/7. I'm just saying. I ain't lying. We all see it. We all got friends that do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just looking for validation, but then act like they're not looking for validation. Your words scream validation. Everything that you're posting screams validation. No confidence whatsoever in the person that you are. None. Not even a little bit. Like, we're not even gonna ignore that. You know what I'm saying? So what damage does the mask do when you're wearing it, right? Um, the mask keeps everyone out, but also keeps you locked in. What does that mean, guys? The mask keeps everyone out, but also keeps you locked in. When you're constantly wearing this mask, right? The more that you wear the mask, the more that you lose yourself. The longer you continue to wear the mask, the longer that mask becomes your lived reality instead of it just being a prop, like a Halloween mask that you just wear once a year just for shits and giggles. It becomes your lived reality. It becomes the person that you claim that's who you are. It becomes that person in real time, to the point where you don't even know what authentic looks like when it comes to you. Imagine waking up. Imagine waking up every day, right? And having to wear a mask just to feel comfortable throughout the day, right? Open up your closet, just a fucking plethora of different masks that you can wear throughout the day. Monday, I'm gonna be this person. Tuesday, I'm gonna be that person. Wednesday, I'm gonna be that person. Thursday, I'm gonna be that person. Friday, I'm gonna be that person. Saturday, I'm gonna be that person. Sunday, I'm gonna be that person. This Monday, I think I'm gonna pick Tuesday today. No, I might pick Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Wednesday looks better for today. Let me grab that mask and let's put it on. Right? Imagine that. You know how much effort and work that you got to put in? You know what I'm saying? You know how much effort and work that you have to put in order for that to happen? Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday, Sunday through Friday. Like that's crazy work. Right? That is crazy work. And then we have individuals that jump on these social media platforms that are so excited about the looks and the love and everything that they're getting, they forget why they got on social media in the first place. Right? They forgot why they even joined social media, why they became a content creator, why they started doing live streams. They you know what I'm saying? They start indulging in this in the negativity and the nonsense and really wearing that mask as a performative measure, right? And they wear it so much that they start to actually live that person in real time. That's fucking scary. Okay? That's scary. I don't understand. I do understand, but I'm gonna act like I don't understand. I don't understand how you can wake up every day and be like, I want to be the least authentic version of myself today. I don't get it. I want to wake up and be the least authentic version of me today. Like, am I tripping? Like, I know I'm not tripping because it don't make no sense. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up Monday through Sunday and be the absolute least authentic person that I could possibly be throughout the week. 365 days a year. Like, what? Excuse my language, but not excuse my language. What in the actual fuck? Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Not on this green, not on God's green earth that I have to wake up and perform for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? And think about it, right? Think about it. We got 24 hours. 24 hours, right? You work majority of the day, right? If you have children, you have to cater to your children, right? And if you're a people pleaser, then you have to cater to your friends, your family, and everybody else above. Now you have to figure out the identity that you're going to pick for the day. And then you have to wear this identity for a full day around everybody. You have nothing left in your cup after that day is over. You have nothing left. Nothing. Like, really think about it. You're going to have nothing. Like, you'll have nothing left for you to even be authentic with, let alone try to figure out what your authentic person looks like. You know what I'm saying? You won't even be able to recognize what being authentic is, because you gotten so comfortable with being this person, or this version of yourself that you claim is real but it's not. I just don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it, because I've been there. So I understand it. I just don't understand at what point are you gonna be like, we gotta slow down. I gotta figure this out because I'm tired. Every time I get off of my day, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. My lived experience throughout my day is tiring. I can't even enjoy myself. I can't enjoy life because I'm constantly having to perform for everybody. At some point you choose it, right? We know that. We're not If you're ignorant to it the first time or even the second time, after that is a choice. You're choosing to do these things. You're choosing to wear a mask. You're choosing to pick one off the shelf and go about your day like you're not exhausted towards the end of the day for choosing all of these things, right? We have to be real with ourselves. Imagine asking your friends, your family, your coworkers, your boss, everybody that's around you to be real with you, right? And then you try to be real with them, or you're real with them, quote unquote, as you say, but you're not real with yourself. You can't even be real with yourself to tell yourself that the way that you're operating is full of shit. That the person that you walk around being is not even the person that you are. Because being authentic don't take no energy. Being you should take no effort. It shouldn't drain you. If anything, it should allow you to have more in your cup being authentic than it would wearing a mask. That's what I think about. How much does wearing a mask drain me when I was wearing it? How exhausted was I? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think about. I think that's important. I think that's an important thing to think about. You know what I'm saying? That's an important thing to think about. How exhausting is wearing this fucking mask? Because that shit is exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Like that can't feel good. That can't feel good to have to wear a mask every single day. You know what I'm saying? Imagine having to wear a mask every single day. Every single day, you're wearing a mask. Every single day, you're having to perform. Every single day, you got to find a way to please people. Every single day, you got to act like you're okay, but you're not. Every single day, you got to keep doing these things, right? Just to make yourself feel good at night, or thinking that you make yourself feel good at night, but you really don't. You're struggling. You're struggling, like really struggling. Like it's wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're really fucking struggling. Like, it's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy thing. Like, you're really struggling for real. Like, and we have a tendency to find people that's willing to validate us, right? Validate our quote unquote authentic self. You know, the mask is your authentic self because that's who I'm being, right? Are you though? Are you really being you? You know what I'm saying? If you yourself are tired at the end of the day, after moving and operating with being yourself throughout the day, then you're not being yourself. I don't know I don't know what other way that I could put that. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why you should be exhausted being yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, according to some, sounds like me every day, and they ain't read my book for even 10 minutes. Must have struck a nerve. People dipped. Yeah, definitely did. I mean, I knew it was gonna strike a nerve, bro. I already knew it was gonna happen. Look at the topic. Like, if it don't strike a nerve, then that's a problem. It's supposed to strike a nerve. That was the intention. That was the point. And that was my point in this topic, to strike a nerve. I do it intentionally. Every time every time I have a topic, it's for me to strike a nerve. I want you guys to be triggered because I want you guys to start working on yourself. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? But you can't act like it's not what it is, because it's supposed to. It's just showing you that you're fake. You wear a mask every day, and then by the time your day is over, you're exhausted. You shouldn't be exhausted if you're being truly who you are as a person. Now imagine you not being yourself, and then by the time your day is up, you're crying because you're so exhausted. Are you exhausted because of your day? Or you're exhausted because you had to perform for every single person that you ran across throughout that day? I don't know, man. Some nasty truth in there. Some nasty truth in there. And it gets worse because now you have to deal with the mirror, which is the person that you're supposed to be. But people are afraid to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in them. So when you look at the mirror shows you what is really happening inside, not the mood, the meaning, right? It removes the emotions that people like to run with to try to make it seem like everything that they're saying is validated or everything that they're saying makes sense. It don't make sense. You're making decisions, and you're creating a thought process around your emotions. You know what I'm saying? When you actually listen to the mirror, it embraces stillness. It embraces silence. It embraces you having no distractions, so that way you can focus on yourself and be the better version of yourself, right? It forces you to confront the persona that you created. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. We'll agree to disagree on that part. We'll agree to disagree on that. We'll definitely agree to disagree on that. Reflection, and then in regards to that reflection forces you to confront that person that's performing so much. You're gonna have to have a uphill battle and conversation with your authentic self, the person that you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that conversation with that person that you're supposed to be, what's going on, sis? I see you. It gives you permission to sit with your discomfort after you have that conversation, right? It allows you to be uncomfortable when you have that conversation with your authentic self, with the person that's in the mirror, right? Now you can sit within your discomfort and figure out if the person that you're acting like is truly who you are, or is the person in the mirror the person that you're really supposed to be. But we all know the answer to that, right? We're not going to act like we don't know the answer to that. We all know the person in the mirror is our person, is the person that went through the lived experiences, learned the lessons, gained the experience and the wisdom behind every traumatic situation, every trauma, every trigger, You know what I'm saying? Everything that was either inherited to them or they experienced themselves, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Like that mirror is literally your teacher, right? We said this yesterday on the live yesterday that you know what I'm saying. When it comes to the inner child, right? You have to think of you being the parent to your inner child. Like you're the parent to your inner child, and your inner child is your actual child that you brought into this world, right? That way you guys can learn from each other. You guys can grow with each other, right? When you ignore that inner child, you're ignoring a huge part of who you are as a person, right? When we wear that mask, we're definitely ignoring our inner child. We're ignoring our inner child, right? At that point, the inner child is entertained by the mask, right? Because they know it's not really you, but it's a child, right? So a child is gonna enjoy the things that look like it's fun. So they enjoy you acting like a clown and looking like like you're a part of the circus. Yes, a part of the circus because you're wearing a mask. You're performing, right? Do, 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 do. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're a part of the circus. So your inner child is enjoying every bit of that because it's entertaining for them. But at some point in time, they also get tired of the performance and try to figure out when are you gonna grab them by the hand and take them on the journey with you because they also have trauma and things that they're struggling with. They also have things that they're struggling with, but they can't work on these things because the adult version of you chooses not to. Just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that revelation, you know what I'm saying? When you have that revelation, right? And you finally open your eyes to the things that you're struggling with, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna start saying certain things, certain phrases. You know what I'm saying? For example, I am tired. I don't know myself. I've been acting. I've been shrinking. I've been holding my breath for years. I am tired. I don't know myself. I've been acting. I've been shrinking. I've been holding my breath for years. When you start to actually focus on yourself and actually do what you're supposed to do, then you start to actually put in the work and realize the emotions that you ignored and the reality that you ignored and the things that you're healing from, that you're supposed to heal from. What you laughing at the Riz? You know what I'm saying? I can't. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's one of those things that's important, man. You gotta start to remove the mask so that way things start to look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have to break it into steps, right? Obviously, it's not an easy task to do all of these things. It's not an easy task to actually go into the journey of actually focusing on the mirror itself, which is why I wrote a book about the mirror. Okay. I did write a book about the mirror. It's called The Mirror Labyrinth. It is available on Amazon. If you're on TikTok, it's in my link tree. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, it's also in my link tree. So you guys can go purchase the book and check it out. When you guys are reading this book, just remember, I am not your friend at all. I'm not even your coach. I am that mirror that you have to have a conversation with, so that way you can stop bullshitting yourself. Okay. It is all out of love though, but it's the truth that you've been hiding and the truth that you've been ignoring. It's not a gentle truth, right? It's not a gentle truth at all, not even remotely. It's the raw, honest truth, uncut, without a doubt, in your face type of truth, right? Because unfortunately, when we start to sugarcoat things for people, they really take it in. at sugarcoating. Like, you guys are getting diabetes at this point. Like, what is happening? You guys are diabetic to the point as much as you guys want people to sugarcoat things for you, you guys are becoming diabetic. It's absolutely insane. You know what I'm saying? Visa, welcome in. It's absolutely insane. So when you start working on the mirror, when you start focusing on removing the mask and actually listening to the mirror and having a conversation with the mirror, right? You are going to do a few things, right? You're going to have to learn not to hype yourself up, overly hype yourself up, and be able to tell your truth or tell yourself the truth, right? And do that as many times a day as possible, right? Or do it per day, right? Do it per day. You know what I'm saying? Have one, they say honest conversation. I say transparent. So have one transparent conversation with somebody that you genuinely trust. That's with someone that will make you feel safe. You know what I'm saying? If you feel safe with this person and you're able to have a transparent conversation and things that you are struggling with, and they can help you navigate these things, right? Or get you the help that you need. I appreciate you, bro. Then do that, right? At least 5 minutes, right? Because it gives clarity. You know what I'm saying? Within the 5 minutes, you can be able to give clarity, understanding, and things that you're really struggling with, right? You'll be able to give a healthy breakdown on the things that you're really struggling with. You know what I'm saying? Stop explaining yourself when it comes to your peace. When you're trying to when you're trying to upheld. When you're trying to have peace, when you're trying to live within your peace, right? Stop explaining your peace. Stop explaining it. You don't have to explain why your peace matters, right? Let them misinterpret what your peace looks like, because obviously peace for somebody that's still constantly wearing a mask or that's not in their healing journey is uncomfortable. So if they're uncomfortable with your peace, is because they don't know what it looks like and they don't know how to experience peace themselves. So you don't have to explain that to anybody. Just continue to operate the way that you're supposed to operate. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you get as much rest as possible, because rest is important in regards to this journey, right? You don't want to overwhelm yourself, right? Um, you don't want exhaustion to become a part of your personality. You don't want to always be tired, right? You don't want to have an anchor to exhaustion. Remove that anchor. And when it's time for you to breathe, and it's when it's time for you to take a step back and, take that moment of relaxation, take it. Your body will tell you when you need to take it. You know what I'm saying? Your body will tell you. So pay attention to your body, listen to your body. Let your body give you the indications that it's time to relax and listen to your body. You know what I'm saying? Um so I'll give you guys a couple statements that I want you guys to embody. Okay. And mind you, this is recorded. So if you guys want to go rewatch it, you can rewatch it on YouTube at King of Self Love at the bottom. You just go to King of Self Love on YouTube. You'll be able to rewatch the whole live if you missed the whole live. You can't build a peaceful life on top of a false identity. You can't build a peaceful life on top of a false identity. Stop wearing the mask. Remove the mask. There's nothing peaceful about wearing the mask. I gave you guys an example earlier during the live about having a shelf full of different identities and masks that you wear Monday through Sunday or Sunday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? Or Sunday through Saturday. You literally have a wall full of masks. You pick out to see which one fits for your day. Right? And then you sometimes you switch them out. Sometimes you take Monday for Tuesday, or Tuesday for Thursday, or Friday for Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Leave that false identity where it is and start focusing on a peaceful life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when your mask did what was necessary, right? At that moment, but the moment that you start living in your truth and your transparency, you no longer need the mask. Throw the mask away. Set it on fire. Do what you got to do. Get rid of it. Cut it up. Whatever you got to do to get rid of it, just get rid of it, right? Because now it's time to actually let it go. Because you're actually putting in the work. You're actually doing what's necessary for you, right? The real you is never too much, right? The real you is never too much. The problem that we have and the things that we surround ourselves with people who will require less, right? In that situation, less is not more. Less is just less. Like, you know what I'm saying? Remove yourself from people that require less, right? That will simplify the things that make you whole. They try to simplify it that way they feel comfortable, that way they have control, that way they can manipulate the situation. You know what I'm saying? So don't allow them to have that much energy or control or power over what you deem is enough or too much or not too much. That's your decision to make. And if they can't uphold those things that you put together, i.e. boundaries, right? Standards, because expectations is for you and boundaries is for you, but the standards is for them. So if you have standards that you put together so that way people don't fuck with you or they're not in your face playing in your face, remove those people once they do. It's not a healthy thing to keep those people around because they're not going to do anything for you. They're just going to keep preventing you from actually growing and becoming better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to give you guys in regards to this. I'm gonna be honest with you because it's like we should know this, right? You would think that we would know this. We would know this information. We would know that we need to focus on ourselves. We would know that we need to be real with ourselves, right? And we need to be transparent with ourselves. But so for some odd reason, right, we seek validation from people that haven't even done the work. Imagine that. Imagine that shit. We seek validation from people that don't even do the fucking work, that haven't done the work, that haven't even stepped up to actually put in the work. Right? You're seeking validation from them. At that point, you motherfuckers is trauma bonding because y'all not even none of yous are doing the work. None. Not one of yous are doing the work. Y'all just having conversations based off your struggles and the mask that you guys are wearing and how the mask makes you feel good and how everybody's seeing you and everybody's showing you love and everybody's giving you all the praises. Yep, sure is. I did it. I went there. Sure did. I'm gonna say 95, bro. I'll say 95 because 95% of the fucking internet is doing this shit, right? And I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud, right? Because we just experienced some shit on fucking TikTok yesterday from a content creator that did some bullshit. I ain't gonna say no names, but we know what happened. It's all over fucking TikTok right now. R.I.P. to that man. So focused on social media and focused on things that she shouldn't be focused on, and took a man's life because she wasn't focused the way that she was supposed to be focused. R.I.P. to that man. That shit ain't a joke. That shit is not a joke. Your bullshit affects other people, sometimes permanently. I'm not saying this shit for myself. This shit happens in real time. And y'all over here playing fucking games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy work. It's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I'll say the name because I ain't afraid. What you gonna do? Fight me? Fucking tea time. Yep, I said it. Tea time. Go look her up on fucking TikTok. She streams. She's fucking going viral right now because of the bullshit that she caused. It is what it is. But you know what? All it took was for her to focus on what the fuck she was supposed to focus on, and that shit would have never happened. You're focused on social media instead of focusing on fucking driving. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't make no sense. None. It makes no sense. None. That shit's wild to me. It really is. You know what I'm saying? It's time to take your power back, man. Stop allowing the fucking mass to take control of your life. Take your power back. All the views, all the likes, all the supporters, you know what I'm saying? All that bullshit that social media got you guys all hyped about, right? Everybody's seeing you now. The mask is off for her now. The mask is off for her now. Because now reality has set in stone. Not something that she can escape from. And all she had to do was get the fuck off of social media. Imagine that. Crazy work. Crazy work. Don't make no sense. But that's what the live experience is. That's what it is. When you don't focus on what you need to focus on, you don't realize all the people that you affect in the process. Right? When you do too much, you affect people in the process. When you don't do enough, you affect people in the process. When you ignore the things that you're supposed to focus on, you affect people in the process. When you act like you don't know what the fuck you're supposed to be doing, you affect people in the process. If you have children, you affect them in the process. If you have a spouse, you affect them in the process. If your spouse is smart, they probably would get rid of your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they're smart. If they're smart. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of your ass. But, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? If they're smart and they know that you're not trying to grow or be better, they will get rid of your ass. Because time waits for nobody. So, y'all got to figure that out. And I'm not saying this for my benefit. I'm already a part of my dream. I'm already on my healing journey. My mask is gone. Shit's been gone a long time ago. That's why I talk the shit that I talk. Hey, it's only not simple once you sign that paper. But there's always ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm just saying. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm just saying. But nope. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. No. What date? What's today? The 9th? Yeah. I'll see you guys on Thursday. I'll do another one on Thursday. I got another topic for you guys. There is an event on Facebook that I actually created for the next live event. So if you guys have me on Facebook, just go register for the live. Go register for the live, and we will be there, and we will enjoy and embrace the conversation that we're gonna have, because we're all this conversation is gearing towards childhood trauma awareness month. Shout out to Coach Stephanie. She is a certified trauma coach who was able to get childhood trauma awareness as an actual recognized celebration or supportive month in her hometown. So we're going to focus on that for the month of November. The next topic is going to be the mirror that reflects. You guys see how I love this mirror talk? The mirror that reflects your childhood wounds. That's going to be the topic. Okay. Now, I do want to open up the panel for this one. So I will, if you guys want to be a part of that conversation, I'm going to be streaming on all 3 platforms for that. So I can send you guys the link to be a part of that conversation. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you guys not afraid to have this conversation, join the platform. I appreciate you, bro. In a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig. Make sure y'all live within your value energy. And I